Hi everybody, welcome to today's video. Today I'm going over what chess books I'm currently reading, and not to spoil anything, if this counts as a spoiler, the list is very extensive. I didn't think it was going to be this long, and then I started collectively bringing together all of my books to make this video, and I was like, oh, the list is getting a little long. I'm reading a lot of chess books right now. And if you're looking for some chess books to read, you're like, I wonder what are some good chess books. I have a few that are highly recommended. So I just wanted to give you all my thoughts on what I'm currently reading and also what I'm thinking of each book. So let's jump right into it. We're going to start off with a bit of a fan favorite. If you couldn't guess, it's Chess Queens by Jennifer Shahade. We're starting off strong, okay? This book, I'm not even over exaggerating, has changed my life. Like, literally changed my life. So, I started reading this last year. When the ebook date for release was announced, I immediately was like, okay, I'm buying this on the date of release. Like, I don't even care if I don't have a physical copy, which I am a fan of, preferably, but I'm down for an ebook. So the physical copy hadn't come out in, I think this was 2022, yeah. And I was like, well, I need this book immediately. So, and as you can see, it is very well loved. I consumed this book. Like, every single word in it was just so amazing. So let me get into what it's actually about. Okay. Before I start raving on. So this book is about the true story of Jennifer Shahade. If you guys don't know who she is, where do you live, under a rock? No. Okay. Not gonna be mean, but like, y'all should know who Jennifer Shahade is. She is a 2-time US women's champion, and she is just an amazing advocate for women in chess and girls in chess, and she is an amazing person. So she writes this book. It is basically her story and then also the history of female chess players from, I think, going back all the way until like the 1930s, starting with Vera Menchik and going all the way to the champions of today's day and age. It is incredibly written, incredibly inspiring. If you have not read this and you're looking for some type of motivation, or you just need something to make you want to play chess, pick up this book. It's going to make you want to play good chess. I have read it now. I honestly am losing track. I think I'm on my 5th reread, and every single time I gain something new out of it, and it makes me want to be the best chess player that I can be to honor these women. So with that being said, go read it. This is not a sponsorship for Chess Queens. I just think that this book should be on everybody's shelf, and you need to freaking read it. All right, moving on. This book is maybe the bane of my existence. It is chess problems, combinations, and games. 5,334 to be exact. It is a mammoth of a book. It is huge. Like, literally, this is like a paperweight. However, with that being said, this is written by Laszlo Polgar, who is the father of the Polgar sisters. Also, I heard something on Twitter the other day that this was actually written by Susan Polgar. She tweeted that. But she was like underage, so it had to be published by her dad. I'm not sure. I didn't know that. So I heard that the other day, but the name says Laszlo Polgar if you're trying to look it up to buy it. It is basically a tactics tome for mate in 2s, mate in 3s. There's some mate in 1s. There's about like 300 problems of mate in 1s. And then it goes on to the rest. And there's also some games in the back. It's like games with puzzles, different combinations. There's different Polgar games in here that these puzzles are actually from their games. I actually just hit number 1,000. Yay, everybody clap. No. Which honestly, I didn't know when I was gonna get here. I was doing like 10 a day for a while, and then I was like, okay, I put the book down. I was picking up other books. I just hadn't picked it up in a while. And then now that I picked it up again, I am flying through, and it actually feels pretty good. I'm like, oh, I've gotten better since I last picked up this book. So that feels good. It has helped my board vision so much. I see patterns so much more, and it really helps with your board vision. So I would highly recommend this book. It is probably going to take me a couple years to get through this. And as you can see, This is number 1,000 and I'm only this far through. So it's going to take me a really long time. But I'm enjoying it. I can only do probably like 20 to 30 a day, and then I'm like, okay, I need to move on to something else. But it's really helped with my board vision, and I attribute a lot of oh my god. Okay. Trying to escape. One day I will get through all of these puzzles, but for now I'm enjoying it. I'm learning new patterns. 100% you'll learn something new from this book. So I would highly recommend this book, and I am enjoying it, and I'm going to put it down because my hand is hurting. The next book that I am currently reading is The Most Instructive Games of Chess Ever Played, and this is by Irving Chernev. He is an amazing author, amazing chess player, and funny story about this book, I bought this in old chess notation. So I did not look it up when I bought it of which type of edition this was, and I bought the one where it's old notation. So I had to learn old notation to be able to read this. I am currently, there's 62 games in there here. I'm currently on game 30, so I'm about halfway. Oh my god, that feels really good. I didn't know that. The first chess book that I ever bought was actually Logical Chess by Irving Chernev. Logical Chess Move by Move, if any of y'all are thinking about that. And it really changed my entire outlook on chess. It was one of those books that was like, oh, I know nothing. I know nothing about chess, and my eyes were open to a whole entire new world. So, and I really love his writing. So that book will stick with me for a really long time. And this book I am really enjoying because the games in it are really cool. There's a lot of cool ideas within each game, so that each game will focus on something specific. Like, for example, one of them is titled The Art of Exchanging Pieces, and so each game in here will teach you something different, which is why it's probably labeled the most instructive games of chess ever played. But I'm really enjoying it, minus the notation, because it takes me probably almost double the time to be able to play these out, because I have to keep thinking each move, like, okay, I make sure I'm playing the right moves, and then sometimes I mess up and I have to go back, and it's a whole thing. Honestly, if you haven't studied any master games before, I think this is a good place to start. Okay, this next one is also a bit of a brick. It is Jeremy Silman's complete Endgame course, a amazing book for a variety of levels. As you can see, it says from beginner to master. I am really enjoying this book. It has taught me so much about endgames, and I really love Jeremy's writing style. He makes it entertaining. There's a lot of different like diagrams and like puzzles and tests in here. I also like the way that it's divided. It's like divided per class. So right now I'm only going up to where I need to, which I believe is class C, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so I've only finished up to class C because that's kind of what I need to know. And also, it's kind of hard to learn all of this information about endgames when I have never been formally taught. So this is the perfect book to introduce yourself to endgames if you don't know, like, the Lucina position, the Philidor position, how to win with Queen and King, for example, or just Rook and King. And it teaches you those patterns, and this has, I know, helped so many people with their endgame skills. I kind of go over it periodically when I need to refresh on certain things. I'm like, do I really think that I can win the Philidor position if it's on the board? No. And so I have to be honest with myself and review pretty periodically. So that's why I keep coming back to this book, and I really recommend it. The next book that I'm reading, and I am almost done with, is Back to Basics Tactics by Dan Heisman. I am really enjoying this book. I found this at a thrift store for like $8, so I was very happy to see this. I have heard great things about Dan Heisman, and so I was like, you know, his books are probably pretty good too. Like, I've heard he's a great coach. And when I opened this book, actually, funny story, I realized I have never been formally taught chess, and this was that moment for me where I was like, oh, I didn't know the names of these certain patterns, or like what technically an x-ray was, or what this specific type of absolute pin meant. Like, I had seen patterns before and just kind of recognized them as the patterns that they are, but I didn't know the formal names to them. So this is a great book. If you've never been formally taught chess, this is going to get you there, and it's going to give you a lot of information that is going to help you in regards to tactics. I love it. It's short, There is a ton of puzzles in this book. And he kind of introduces it by theme. So, like, you'll go from different types of tactical motifs to different types of like checkmates. And I really liked that there was a lot of variety in this book. I learned a ton, and it's kind of pretty easy to get through. So, it made me feel really good that I get to check this off my list soon. So, enjoying this, I would recommend if you're looking for a type of book just to get you into the basics of tactics. And if you've never been taught what types of names go to certain types of tactics, this is going to be for you. This next one is actually my most recent purchase, and I bought this at a chess tournament, and I have not regretted it. So I've been wanting to buy this for a long time, and I saw it in person, and it was like a light shined on it, and I was like, I need this book. I've never seen it in person. I was immediately drawn to it. I like circled the table that it was on. I looked at it. I was like, oh, I really want that. And then I was like, okay, no. And I walked away. And then I had gotten a buy for my next round. And I was like, well, it's meant to be. I'm just sitting around by this table. I have to buy this book now. And I'll read it during my buy round. And that was how I convinced myself to spend money on this book. And that book is Master Your Chess with Judith Polgar, and it's written by Judith Polgar and Andres Toth. And I am loving this book. First of all, I just want to say the layout of this book it just makes me feel really good, okay? So it's like a hardcover. It feels like a textbook. It's pretty good size. It's a decent size. And I love the way that this is laid out. It has gorgeous, first of all, it has color, which a lot of chess books are just black and white, so I appreciate the little things. It shows like different moves with different arrows, and it'll be in like blue and green or red, and I appreciate that. It gives a nice visual aspect to the book. So this is a Chessable course, but it was made into a book. So I prefer books. I'm definitely a book learner, as you can see by this video. And so I enjoy having a physical copy. So I'm glad that I was able to purchase this versus like a Chessable course. No hate to Chessable. I just enjoy this more. But it kind of goes through different types of themes like positional concepts, positional sacrifices, strategy, tactics, endgames. So you get a bit of everything. And I enjoy that. A lot of these games in here are also by Judith Polgar. So she's like annotating her own games and going through them, which I think is just so fun because I love her as a player. It goes through different games and it asks you questions throughout the game, like, what do you think is the move here? Or how do you think you're supposed to rip open the king side? So it kind of feels like I'm doing a puzzle while I'm going through a game. I am loving this. I am probably just about like 70 pages in. I have been picking it up on and off, and I only got it a couple months ago, or not even, probably like a month ago. So I feel like that's pretty good for how recent I bought it. So I've been really enjoying it and would recommend. The next couple of books that I'm going to talk about are all ebooks that I own, so I don't have the physical copy to show y'all, but I am really loving them. Sometimes it's just easier to buy the ebook, so that's what I do. So I have been reading Winning Chess Tactics by Yasser Seirawan, and I've actually almost done with this. I think I only have a couple pages left. Towards the end, he kind of starts to go through like different games and stuff like that. So that's what I'm on right now. I finished like all the tactics portion. This one felt similar to Back to Basics Tactics by Dan Heisman, and that they're both tactics books, and they're very basic in teaching you all the different types of tactics like pins, windmill, x-ray, things like that. And it's been nice to read. It was part of also the dojo training program, so I kind of was like, okay, this is recommended for my cohort, let me read it. And it has helped. I've enjoyed it. I also really like his writing style. He's fun, upbeat. Some of the games in here are from him that he played in US championships or in other places as well. So I've been enjoying this. I kind of flew through it. Like, it's just one of those books that I actually was like, is this my level? But I think because I had started Back-to-Back Tactics by Dan Heisman prior to this one, I felt like, okay, I just read about x-rays before. It wasn't maybe super helpful for me because of that, but I still enjoyed it. I'm glad I read it. I'm almost done with it. And last but certainly not least is How to Reassess Your Chess by Jeremy Silman. Yes, that is now the second book by Jeremy Silman on this list. He is an amazing author. This book, y'all, it made me realize that I do not know anything about imbalances in chess. It was like a bucket of cold water dumped on me when I started reading this. So this was actually recommended for, I think it's like if you're above 1400 to like maybe 2000. I know it's at least like 1400 that they say to start reading this at. And when I had first bought this book, I think I was like 1200, and a lot of stuff just like went over my head, and I was like, okay, this is not for me. I put it down, and then recently I've come back to it, and it feels now at my level I actually understand things, and it is so good, y'all. You will learn so much from this book. I would say if you're looking to up your game, like you really want to push yourself out of that like 1500 bracket, this is the book that's going to do that for you. Like, truly, I believe that. This book really changed the game for me. It opened my mind up to different strategical imbalances. Bad knight versus good bishop. I had no idea what that was. And I'm learning in this book what that means. So I would highly recommend this one. It is kind of, it's a bit difficult to get through because it's a lot of information that it's a lot of new information for me, at least. So I feel like I have to kind of just take it in bite-sized portions, because if I just try and like plow through it, I'm probably not going to remember everything, and I want to try and get as much as I can out of this book. I'm really enjoying it. I'm taking my time. I actually have taken a little bit off from this book just to like pick up other things, especially this Judah Polgar book. I'm just loving that one right now. But I will jump back into this one. I'm probably about like a third of the way through, and I do feel like my chess has changed, especially being able to play like longer time controls. I am looking at different things. I'm noticing different things within like different minor piece imbalances, and that is something that I was never looking at before, so I'm very grateful for this book. And that is it, y'all. That is all of the chess books that I am reading at the moment. That was what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? I think 7, yeah. If you also love reading chess books, drop a comment. Tell me what you're reading. I'm always looking for other chess book recommendations, and just book recommendations in general, but specifically chess book recommendations. If you're loving something that you're reading right now, please let me know. I would like to add it onto my TBR, please. And thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.